Good morning, folks, and welcome to another Motormouth 8 a.m. morning drive. I hope you had a fabulous day yesterday. You're tuned into the Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling and saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins. We're going to shift it into drive this morning. So welcome aboard. If it's your very first time for joining us, we got a few housekeeping tips we always get through. Turn those cell phones down. Yeah, because if I hear it ringing, there's a $60 non-refundable deposit on that. Just saying. Hope you had a wonderful St. Paddy's Day yesterday. You survived it. And you're back to work and back in the swing of things. Or perhaps you're still on spring break with the kiddies and having a good time. The weather hasn't been a really good time, although yesterday it did buck up for a little while. We're going to check into the morning drive this morning and see what weather conditions we're going to be expecting for this another day, bringing us to Season 2, Episode 114. If you've missed a lot of the podcasts, you can catch them on iHeartRadio. We are migrating them over to our YouTube channel as well. So everything we talk about has life on our website through being the biggest drawer in our toolbox that we could create to make it super duper easy for you to pull it open and connect with us. So go to carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's the long version, ccbusnet.com. On the home page, you will see all the logos for our program sponsors and program partners that help make everything possible for us. We are looking for a couple of spots to be filled, so we're working on that right now, because without program partners, we don't ask you for anything, just that you do those little things that help the channel to grow. So also on the home page, you will find all the links in the top right-hand corner for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. They got us tied in with all the businesses and community there. My parents have lived there for decades. And, you know, it's a great place to hang out. Put that on your roadmap this year for a Niagara drive. Come on down and head over to the zoo in Stevensville. There's great eateries there and a lot of mom and pop businesses. So put that on your roadmap this year for a day trip. You'll really, really enjoy it. Now, our Car Connection Motormouth merchandise is available to you in our online store, and that's available top right-hand corner of our homepage. Grab yourself some gear and join the crew and be part of us reaching out and helping and fighting against addiction. That we can support those who are ready to take on that addiction, get to a total freedom addiction campus where a new life waits for them there. So we thank you for all that in advance. This morning, what are we going to be talking about? Rinse and repeat. Exactly. That should get your creative juices going. If you're just sliding through the drive-through, well, don't forget to double check your order. Grab your 16 pack of crayons, Crayola crayons, get them over to your passenger if you have one, and your leaf bag nicely folded up like a laptop so you can take down some information. I want to remind you again, in the description box for all our YouTube videos and for our podcasts, I include a lot of helpful automotive basic fundamental tips. That's a mouthful. All the time. So don't be one of those people that skim a text, skim an email, and you miss like 90% of it. And so the efforts someone takes to send you a detailed text or an email, at least respect the fact read the damn thing, would you? Yeah, read all of it. Yeah. Because sometimes I just feel like, why don't we just get on the phone and we can cover this off in a minute or two? Yeah, time saving. Where? I don't see it. It's convenient, yeah, but most people, they skim. So with the details in the description box, I highly recommend you don't skip and skim and glance over them. You're missing a lot of really good automotive service repair, basic fundamental tech tips for free. For free. From this fella here that's in your corner to be your coach, to be that person cheering you on and trying to teach you the basic fundamentals of vehicle ownership. And when you apply that, guess what happens? You will save money. You will have a lot less stress, and you'll have freedom. Because there are two ways to own a car. Two ways. There's only two ways to own a vehicle. Living in the unknown or living in the know. What does that mean? Living in the unknown is you hop in, you treat the car like a bad donkey, like you've got a dozen of them waiting in the fridge, and you just go and get another one, and you're upset when something goes wrong with it. Well, what's wrong with it now? And my first question I would always ask when I had my shop on the Hamilton Mountain, when was the last time you spent some money on this car? And I'll tell you, if the husband and wife are there, the eyeballs are rotating back and forth because the blame game's going on. Well, honey, you answer. No, you answer. No, you answer. And then I go, I'll answer. Nothing. In the last 6 months, how much money have you spent on this car? No answer. The answer is nothing. How much have you spent on this car in the whole year past? Nothing. There you go. There's your answer. 0 times 0 plus 0 divided by 0 is 0 in any country around the world. So if you do nothing, you net nothing. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. Rinse and repeat. But living in the unknown is you just climb in, you gas it, you don't even check any fluids, you don't even do a walk around, you do absolutely nothing, but you want to net the results of something. But you're living in the unknown. You don't know what you don't know. And I'll share that saying. You don't know what you don't know. That's why you don't have. Because if you knew what you knew, you'd have it. And to know it, not do it, means you never knew it in the first place. So owning an automobile and living in the unknown, you live in stress. If you switch that up and go to living in the know, that means your vehicle goes into the shop on a regular basis for a check over, for an inspection, evaluation, a health check. Then that's the formula to keep your vehicle as long as you want. And the stress, you live in freedom. When you're in the know and you know the condition of your vehicle and you stay on top of that, guess what, folks? You'll have mental freedom. Because when you approach your vehicle, you know that everything is in tip-top working order until the next time. But during that time frame, here's the kicker. During that time frame, that's what we're going to talk about today. Rinse and repeat. Let's jump into our morning weather and find out what we can expect on the morning drive. Yeah, so if you're just getting through the drive-through, double check your order, get that locked down in your cup holder. We'll have a swiggy together in just about 30 seconds, maybe 45. Where are we at today? There we at. Okay, let's get the big picture going here. Precipitation, we got this handled. 0 inches. In the last 24 and in the next 24, 0. We like that. That's good because it looks like winter here on the south shores of Lake Erie. We got pounded the other day with that lovely, and I'm driving home. Yeah, and I could hardly see the center line. So I'm watching to see if other cars are coming out of the blowing snow, and it was coming off the lake really, really hard. And you'd see a line, and I'd go, oh, wow, I'm like way over. You just start cruising over to your own side. Well, here we go. 16 degrees right now, mostly clear. Wind is making it feel a whole lot colder, about 12 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. with mostly cloudy conditions expected at 1 p.m. So today's temperature range from 15 degrees to 32 degrees, so that's freezing. And it's going to feel more like 12 degrees to 29 degrees. So the high for today, you ready for it? Freezing point, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Overnight low, we're back into the teens with a 15 degrees overnight. Yeah, you might want to pull that blanket up. So this is the lane that I have been carving out for a very long time. For over 40 years as a service tech, I'm up to date. I just paid for my licenses again every year and got confirmation they're paid for, so I'm back in the clan. So remember, there's only 2 ways to own a car. And now write this down. You're living in the unknown with a pile of stress, wondering, what's the car going to pull on me next? What's it going to cost me next that I don't have the money for? Or you're going to switch gears and go, you know what? I'd rather know if something's coming so I can prepare for it. That's living in the know, and that's giving you freedom, mental freedom. And I mentioned yesterday that a plumber guy that was doing a little bit of work in the garage, fixing some exploded pipes one year, and he turns and he says, you know, I don't know what we were really talking about, and this fella usually doesn't have a whole lot of really good stuff to say. Very negative person. He turned, he said, well, now, you can't put a price on peace of mind. Work hard at always having peace of mind. Well, peace of mind vehicle ownership makes a whole lot of sense. And the only way you're going to get there is by following a maintenance program, getting on a maintenance program. So if you got your morning beverage ready, whatever that may be, it's just fine with me. You know, no condemnation here. Except stop treating your car like a bad donkey. Like I said, if you've got a dozen of those in the fridge, a dozen vehicles in there waiting, and you can just go get a set of keys and drive something else, if you don't change your patterns, guess what happens? You get the same results. And this is the problem. This is the biggest challenge. My professor of psychology would say, you know, Niall, I've been almost 40 years as a psychologist teaching psychology. He was at a major university. And he says, my job is actually, and he had a practice as well, psychotherapy, treatment, you know, counseling, blah, 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 all that stuff. He said, you know, I get people in to my practice, my private practice, and he says, you know, I listen to them. And most would say, your job is easy. And he'd say, you're right. It is. For the most part, my job is really, really easy. He said, because there's only 2 things I need to accomplish with anyone who comes into my practice. First, I got to get them to think. He said, and here's where 40 years comes in of teaching and training and working as a psychologist. Then I got to get them to think right. That's the troublesome area. That's where my job gets extremely difficult. First getting them to think, then getting them to think right. And I have to say that when we had our Jenkins Automotive Service and Repairs on the Hamilton Mountain, we had 500 steady clients, not customers. They were clients. They were extended family. They were part of the biz. And they all followed the maintenance plan. And I kept them on track. I was their coach. Before they picked up their keys, paid their bill, and got the car back home, we would set up a next appointment, just like a hair appointment, ladies, right? Before you leave, you set into motion your next hair appointment. So when you call and you don't have one, and the hairdresser says, I can't get you in for 3 weeks, you're like freaking now, right? You're having a freak show and terrorizing the household because you can't get your hair done on time. So it's best to what? Before you leave the hairdresser's office, you have your next appointment booked solid. So and they know how many weeks before you come back. So you rotate the pattern, right, ladies? Am I on this? Let me know in an email. Am I on this or am I not on this? So you go to your appointment, your hair gets done, you're paying your bill, and what do you do next? You set and book your next appointment. That's how I worked our automotive shop. We very rarely, out of 500 steady clients, that's all we needed. We could not take any more. They would be on a maintenance rotation, and no one that I can remember had a vehicle come in on a tow truck. How does that happen? You got to rotate the pattern so that you're in the know, not the unknown. Those people, I'd usually kick them down the road. Their vehicles, the ones in the unknown, they want you to bring out the magic wand and the crystal ball and tell them exactly what's wrong with the car now, near future, and distant future, and price it all out, and then they don't even come back because they can't bring themselves to implement the plan. So those customers, headaches, not interested. I want to work with the people that want to work with their car and keep it running, and it's important to them to do so, and they're not wanting to buy cars over and over and over and over. Just keep doing a lap around the mountain, another lap around the mountain. Just keep working, paying interest and principal for the rest of your life. It's exhausting, isn't it? Just listening to me. Exactly. So I taught our clients, once they moved from being a customer to being a client, that I would work with them if they worked with us. But if their car is constantly coming in on a flatbed, and I'll tell you what, it's like, my phone would ring, yeah, my car's busted, and I got to have it for tomorrow morning for like 6:30 a.m., and the kids got to do this, and blah, 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 and I got to get my mother to the doctor, and I got an appointment the day after that, and the car's broken. When can I get it back? Well, I haven't even seen it yet. And I'd say, it hasn't even arrived yet. But I said, you can avoid all this if you get a grip on, you've just told me how important your car is. You've got all this stuff going on that you can't do without it. So what's your game plan to prevent this from happening? Game plan? Yeah, like every day you get up, you brush your teeth, you get bathed, cleaned up, put your hair, do up your hair do up, makeup, put on some war paint, and out the door. You do the same thing every day. Same routine. Well, that's what you got to create with your car. You got to create that routine of taking care of it, because apparently you can't handle it when the car goes down. You ready? I bought you a bit of time. Beverage on 3, 2, 1. Thank you to our certified financial planners, Tony Mealy and Larry Tetro. I encourage you to connect with them. Get that hour and a coffee, that discovery meeting. Sit down and discuss your specific needs, goals, and dreams that you want to accomplish. They have the answers. Combined, both Tony and Larry have 50 years experience. Take advantage of that, folks. Don't do another lap around the mountain, taking advice from those who are not where you want to be financially. And they may not necessarily be giving you the right information, not on purpose. So be respectful. Book that hour and a coffee with Tony and Larry, and leave your wallet and leave your purse at home, ladies. There's going to be no condemnation. It's going to be a 1-hour discovery meeting on their dime, and get your questions answered. If you have investments at the bank, you really need to take a look at getting them out of there so that your money's working hard for you. I really, really encourage you to do that, because you can do better. You can do a lot better than where you are right now. So they will work to put together a debt retirement plan, estate planning. If you have a checkbook and a bank account, you need to get that pillar taken care of properly. It's not a cake mix you go buy for $20 and do it yourself. That will not stand up against the tax man. It won't. If you read the whole packet, it will tell you to have an attorney check it over. And it will have a lot of loopholes in it. Trust me. So don't leave that to a cake mix or someone telling you, oh, just do it yourself. I saved myself a ton of money. Yeah, well, when you pass away, you have just left your family in an upside down and sideways situation, fella. I'm just saying. So sit down. If you've got mortgage issues, they handle that. If you need life insurance or critical illness insurance, if you don't have any of that insurance in place, that hour and a coffee is going to help you. So check in with Tony Miele or Larry Tetro. Figure out which one you want to work with. Leave your wallet at home. Leave your purse at home. And get that 1-hour discovery meeting. Watch what happens to your life. Watch what happens. See, what we have to do is not only work on our cars, but everything in life. If it's always an unknown, you're living in a ton of stress, my friend. A ton. So with that, if I stare at this cup for one more minute, I'm going to lose it. Right? Okay. On 3, 2, 1. Thanks, Tony and Larry. We appreciate you very much. They're my brothers from other mothers. They're my personal financial planners for well over 20 years. I've sent a lot of my friends there, and they are so pleased with how their investments are now running and other areas of their life that they always fretted about are well taken care of and maintained. Wouldn't that make you feel good? 3, 2, 1. Something missing in there today. Or there's something extra in there. I don't know. It's an IDK. It's just it's not right. It's just not clicking right. I don't know. I did have one eye open when I made that this morning. But anyways, let's jump in to what we got going on, because time goes very, very quickly. And we'd like to thank Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, the Greenville family. Fantastic people to work with, folks. So if you're looking to do some building or hardscape landscaping, that is your place. They've been building Canada since 1931. They make a lot of their own products right on site, but they also are well connected in the industry. So if you're looking for somebody that you can count on to estimate a project for you, start it and finish it, and it turns out just the way, even better than you thought, that's what they do at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Check in with them. Let them know what your goals and dreams are to create that backyard space you've always wanted, and let them get to it. And you will be happy. Happy, happy, happy. That's what we need. This world needs a lot more happy people. And somebody said to me lately, I got to find my joy. How do I get my joy? Well, joy comes from within. Nobody can give it to you, hand it to you, or fix you. If you don't have any joy, it's all up to you to fix that. It's like weight loss. Many, and this ties in with the rinse and repeat, so just hang in there. We'll get there in a minute. We're going to land this thing hard. Hopefully the nose gear doesn't come off. Yeah, that makes for a rough landing. One time. Yeah, you're thinking, well, spring is coming. I have watched a lot of Netflix and sat on my butt all winter. It's the size of a heifer. And you know this, because you may ask people, do you think my butt is big? Do you think I look fat? That's where I say, is that the time? Yeah. Are my muffins ready? Oh, okay, my order's ready. I gotta go. It's just the time where you don't answer that question because that's what you're thinking. And you're thinking, summer's coming. I have gained a few of those poundages, probably 15 or so, sitting around watching movies, eating bonbons, watching repeats of Oprah Winfrey. That's a bad idea. Don't go there. I'd rather watch Mr. Dress Up or Sesame Street or Looney Tunes. Three Stooges. Yeah, some good training there. So you're thinking about, I really got to get into gear. I'm really not going to look good in my bathing suit this summer, and I really want to look good in my bathing suit this summer. This goes for fellas too. Like going to the beach in a snowmobile suit or snow pants, people know you're hiding something, okay? And if you have one of those t-shirts that almost go down to your ankles, people know you're hiding something. So if you're not comfortable in your skin, what's your game plan? What's your game plan? Do you have one? Well, if you're washing your hair and you read the bottle, the instructions on the bottle, it will always say the same thing. Apply, rinse, and repeat. Now, the number of times that you've washed your hair, do you have to read those instructions on the back of the bottle every single time? Apply, rinse, and repeat. I don't know, maybe there is somebody out there that does that. I don't know. Send me an email if you read the instructions on the shampoo bottle every day. It's okay. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you. That's different. But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to think about it because you know what the results are. If you want clean hair and fresh smelling hair and a healthy scalp, you sometimes have to apply, rinse, and repeat right from the shampoo bottle. So just imagine this for a minute. If you applied that same basic principle to all areas of your life, apply, rinse, and repeat. It's simple, isn't it? When you think about it, it's like really motor mouth. That's like really stupid. That's good because it is. It is stupid. We complicate things. Cars are not complicated. They're not. We complicate them. Why? Because we don't look after them. We know they cost a lot of money. You don't have to ask. You know, right? Apply. We know how much does a car cost. Ye gads, man. I'm going to be working forever to pay that off. But then you don't put any money into it, so guess what happens? Apply, rinse, and repeat. You get to do the same thing all over again. You buy another car, you treat it exactly the same way till there's nothing left of it, and then you repeat. You go and get another one. Apply, rinse, repeat. It's such a simple formula, folks. 40 years I've watched people churn and burn some very expensive cars, and I stand there going, how can you afford to do that? Well, I guess if, I walk behind you to see how much money's falling out of your clothing as you walk, maybe that's what, and even, to whom much is given, much is required. So, I mean, if I was dripping in cash, I still would be driving exactly what I have that I've been looking after. I don't need to go out and have a $250,000, $225,000, $100,000 this or that. I don't need that. No, I don't. Would I probably get one of my favorite all-time, gotta have dream cars off my list? I might. But, I'd probably really, really think about it and then go, no, I don't really need that. Because then it's another thing I got to look after. I'm not, I need to look after the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. Apply, rinse, repeat. That's all you got to do with that automobile. And that's exactly what you would do if you have one of our Car Connection fleet maintenance systems. And we're working diligently on that because I want to help as many of you as possible, because this is the solution. It is the apply, rinse, repeat instructions. That once you get that, it's just like washing your hair, ladies and fellas, if you have some. Wash the hairs that you really care about. So my dentist says, motor mouth, would you floss and brush the teeth that you want to keep, okay? I go, okay, thank you. I'll just sneak out the door. Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. I'll get right on that. And when you do, good things happen. That's where I'm going. You're not living in the unknown. You're not constantly think about, is the car going to get us on vacation this year? Are we going to get back home? Because many of you are not even checking the basics. We talked about that yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's podcast, you need to go and collect that one and the other 100. Because what I share on YouTube, I don't share here on podcasts. So it's not a rinse and repeat program. So what I talk about here, you won't get over there on YouTube. What we film and cover on YouTube is 5 things all the time: what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks. And if you understood a little more about your car, you probably wouldn't have broken it. That's it. You probably would not have broken your car. There's a good chance, that you with some more understanding, some basic fundamentals, and again, no excuses. Excuses are useless. Well, I've done my time, and I've heard them all. If I had a half a penny for every excuse why people aren't looking after cars, but I'll tell you what, when that car goes down, all hell breaks loose. It's like pull the handbrake on this earth, stop it from spinning, everything come to a crashing halt because my car is busted. And that's where I ask the question: when was the last time you spent some money on your car? In the last 6 months. There's never any answer. But you can't expect results when there's no effort. Again, brings me back to the shampoo bottle. Apply, rinse, and repeat. And continue that pattern. Guess what? You get the desired results. Summer's coming. You've put on a few pounds. You don't want to look like a beached whale in a tight one-piece bathing suit. So then you go to the beach with snow pants on or a full, onesie snowmobile suit. People are going to know you're not feeling good in your skin. So you've got to come up with a game plan that is apply. So what's the plan? Get the plan going. Maybe not, cut back on the, the sweets. Maybe not as much cream in your coffee, or ditch the sugar thing. Start pinching it back immediately and walking. You don't need to go to the gym. I went to the gym for years, and you know what? I hated it all the time, except one gym was, we had a good team and we worked out at the same time, and they were total strangers, and we'd put the music on, and it was a really good hangout time, and everybody's encouraging one another, and then the gym closed. But it was good. It was good camaraderie, and I looked forward to it. Last thing of the evening, 9 o'clock, going in, coming out by 11, and heading for home. The gym's not plugged up. Walk. You just need to go for a walk every day. Every day. Get a game plan. What's the game plan? Again, apply, rinse, and repeat. If you're saying, summer's coming and I don't want that, so you're saying I don't want to be that. So what's the game plan? Okay, you come up with a game plan. Now you got to implement the plan to get the results, the desired results. That's how it works. In the automotive world, that's it, right there. What's the desired outcome that most people want? I don't want the car to break down. I don't want to be stranded on the road. I can't miss a day at work because every dollar counts. And they'll list it all off for you. Okay, so what's your game plan? Well, what do you mean? Well, are you just, when you leave here today, the shop, what's your game plan? Drive it till it breaks, right? Drive it till you can't. Drive it till something major goes on. Drive it until you're on the side of the road. That's stress. So, if your game plan is to get into that one piece, or even go way overboard and go, I'm going to get into a two-piece this summer on the beach, and I am going to look absolutely stellar, then your goal has to be you're doing it for you, not for someone else. And looking after your car is exactly the same way. You're not doing it for somebody else, you're doing it for you. Why? We can't afford to keep replacing cars. We can't afford having humongous repair bills. We're behind. We're always running behind. There's more a month than money. Am I painting a picture for you? I have seen 44 years of this. 44 years of this. And I'm just like my good friend and my mentor, Professor Mike, taught me a lot of really cool stuff, is to fall in love with the battle to get to the victory, the desired results. You got to get Big Mo in your life. What is Big Mo? Motivation. When you lose Big Mo and all you're doing is eating bonbons, watching stupid Netflix at night, and you're hoping, wishing, wanting to get into that two-piece or one-piece bathing suit in how many weeks before the beach opens, do you have a game plan? That's the battle. Do you have a battle? Do you have a strategy? How you're going to do this thing? Because here it is, folks. It takes 21 days exactly to make or break a habit. So whatever that habit is that you don't like, is sitting around, doing nothing, getting fatter, eating bonbons, chips, pops, you know the deal. Chicken wings, pizza, that's making you bigger, not smaller. So your game plan, you got to dress up that game plan, and I know you can do it, because you know what? If I were to dangle something that was your absolute favorite thing, and it's a gotta-have thing, it's your kryptonite, you would probably change the Earth's direction to get to it. I'll give you an example. If you're a sports fan, front row seats to your favorite team. How about a VIP suite ticket where they feed you, beverage you all night, and you got a primo seat to sit in? What would you do to get that ticket? Or your front row backstage pass to your favorite concert, your favorite rock group or whatever group or music genre you're in. What would you do to get that? If that's your hot button, you'll just about pull the handbrake on this globe we're spinning on and get it going the other way, whatever it takes to get to that thing. And that's where the shampoo bottle comes in again. Apply, rinse, repeat. The benefits of and I'm going to end up with this. The benefits of just doing the automotive basics, just the basics. And that's the same with, it can apply to everything. You want to drop those pounds. You want to look good for the summer in your summer clothes on the beach. You want to look stellar and feel good about yourself. You can't be doing it for somebody else. You got to do it for you. For you. you got to do the basics. You got to make some changes. Shut off the tube, get off the couch, and walk and change what you're eating. Everything in moderation. I like donuts, but I don't eat them every day. I used to have donuts once a week, couple times a week, 3 times a week. Guess what happens? You start to look like a donut. Yeah, you're the hole, and it's wrapped around you. You got to change it. Now, I might have a donut once a year, because when you get away from that stuff, it doesn't bother you that you don't have it, and it's okay. And if you want it, everything in moderation. But the benefits of just doing the basics, the automotive basics, we talked and touched on it yesterday. Checking the fluids, looking at the tires, do a walk around, schedule it. So when the vehicle goes in for its service, before it leaves, schedule the next service. Do the same thing you're doing with your haircuts, guys, or for the ladies, the salon. You book your next salon date and time so you don't lose your spot. If you apply that exact same formula to your automobile, do you know how long it's going to last? Till you don't want it anymore. Mileage means nothing. If I put a piece of tape over the odometer or took the odometer right out, would you know how many miles were on it? Absolutely not. You wouldn't know. Just keep going. Because the talking heads, they set the rules. You fall into their game. It's called the car game. They don't want you taking care of it. They're not a fan for those like me that take care of them. I don't want to make principal and interest payments for the rest of my life. Tried it, didn't like it. Tried it a second time, I still didn't like it. I didn't like that dog collar and that very short leash, knowing if the bank called the note, I don't have a car tomorrow. They phone you and say, well, we're going to give you 30 days to pay it off. Then Frankie's coming to pick it up. The repo man's coming. Yeah, it would change everything, wouldn't it? Absolutely. And that's happening to a lot of people right now. And I feel so broken-hearted for them because they fell into the car game. Going into debt to drive a vehicle to impress people you don't even know and you don't even like. Who cares? A to B and take care of it. You can still make it look good, and you can still look stellar in a minivan. No matter what, whatever the gig is. The benefits of just doing the automotive basics and repeating the pattern, folks, it's really that simple. I can't spell it out any better for you. For those of you who are making a decision to listen to me and follow what I'm telling you, you're going to put a ton of money back in your pocket. You're going to relieve a ton of stress. You're going to have mental freedom. And you're not going to be working all those extra hours to make car payments. Because you know what? Here's the secret to the car game. Planned obsolescence. This new stuff coming out, I wouldn't give you a dime for it. Don't put it in my driveway. I don't even want the thing. Get it out of here. Why? They're made as cheap as possible at a high price. Price of goods is not reflected in the quality. It ain't there. You got to step up to the game and get something else. And I don't mind picking on the domestic companies because, you know what, I have some older ones, and I look at that and I go, why is that thing still here? And you can hardly get the loan paid off, and it falls apart. And it constantly needs something all the time. Like you can't just get away with, running basic maintenance all the time. There's always something going on. They really got to pull their socks up. Quality and price do not match. From what I've seen and what I work on, It does. I don't care who they are, who the talking head is. The price tag does not reflect the quality of the vehicle. By the time it's paid off, the thing is done. And I just spoke about this the other day. 2024 Chevy Trax, 70,000 miles. The thing is filling the engine up with coolant. There's a serious problem there. It's only 2 years old, and now the people don't have the money to fix it. They don't have a car. Quality cars versus affordable. Older is better and a whole lot more reliable. Just like washing machines. Washers and dryers. They're made so cheap, man. They're so thin they only have one side. Yeah. It's bad. You gotta be a serious prosumer, not a consumer. Listen for the white noise. Pay attention. Get a game plan going. Apply, rinse, and repeat. I'm your hairdresser, fellas and fellettes. Hang on to my coattails. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not selling you any parts. I'm selling you an idea. If you do this, here's the results. And we are going to be running our 30-day fuel savings challenge once the weather stabilizes. It just doesn't make sense to do it now because there's too many variables. Once we get over 50 degrees, I'd like to see 55, 60 degrees. Then we've got a playing board. We got a good game board to work with. And minimum, follow what I'm going to tell you on that. For 30 days, you'll put $100 a month back in your pocket in fuel savings. Interested? That's $1,200 in a year. What if we can increase that? What if it could be 2 cars in the driveway, saving $100 each in fuel every month by making some habit changes, and that's $2,400 more in your pocket in 1 year than what you got last year. It's not rocket science. It's apply, rinse, repeat. Rotate the pattern. That's what our car connection fleet maintenance system is all about. Apply, rinse, and repeat. And do it again. Same thing. And do it again. And just keep rotating that pattern. Put a check mark in the box. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. How many of us make lists every day? I do. I make lists for myself every day. Things I need to get done. What has to get done. What's in progress. And what's upcoming. So that I can keep my mind focused on moving forward, not moving backwards. On moving forward. I don't live in the now. I live in the future. That's how I work every day. My mind is working in the future, not in the now, all the time, so that I can try my best to stay ahead of everything, stay ahead of the curve, and, keep an eye, be sharp in order to maintain, keep things maintained. Then, you know what? Yeah, you're going to get a zinger. Absolutely, it's going to happen. So you've got to be prepared for that emotionally. If a zinger happens, focus on the fix, not the problem. And that's another issue in a lot of lives is if you spend all your time whining, crying, belly aching, blaming everybody else, nothing's going to change. You need to focus on the problem. No. That is focusing on the problem. In my trade, you learn a lot of stuff that you can apply to life that is on a car. Everything about life, I can change it over and use a car as a reference. Every single time. It's interesting, but it's true. It's absolutely true. If I focus on the problem, how am I going to get to the solution? It's going to take forever because you're busy trying to pin fault on somebody else who did this. And that's the world today, is pass the buck, blame someone else, and don't take responsible for your stupid actions. I do it all the time, and then I'll catch myself and I'll laugh. I'll go, well, that was pretty stupid. In fact, there's a video going to come out where you'll actually get to see that, where I get a super deluxe shower when I'm doing a gush and flush on the 97 Jeep TJ Wrangler. You got to watch for that coming out. It is priceless. And I had a good laugh about it too, because it's happened before. And so if you focus on the problem and then start pointing fingers, and I love the saying, see what you made me do. I didn't make you do anything. You did it to yourself. Stop blaming everyone else and take responsibility for you. Get a game plan. Fall in love with the effort to get to the desired results. That's it. That's how simple it is. Shampoo bottle. That's all you got to say to yourself. Shampoo bottle. Apply, rinse, and repeat. That's it. Rotate the pattern. Apply it to every area of your life, not only automobile, every area of your life. Focus on the solution, not on the problem. How many cars would we fix that would come in the shop if all we did was focus on the problem and play the blame game? Who did it? Whose part was it? You put it in wrong. You touched it last. No. When I was working in a shop being trained by a military automotive service tech, if he caught us doing that, we got sent home. And he'd say, so-and-so, go wash your hands. He could see the person struggling that day and trying to blame everybody else for something that person did, and they need to own up to it and just move forward. Focus on, he taught us, and he wouldn't get away with how he would teach us these days, because, everybody, it's like, I feel unsafe, blah, 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 whatever. Get over yourself. Yeah, people make mistakes, self-included. You got to own it. You got to own it. And he would say, yeah, you're going to go home, and I want you to think about what you just did. And when you come back tomorrow, we're going to have a little discussion before you hit the floor in the shop. He not only taught us how to fix cars, he taught us how to fix ourselves, fix our minds. Focus on the solution, not the problem. And then afterwards, we would talk about the problem. What happened? How did it happen? And how can we avoid that from happening? So we'd all do a review of a problem that came in the shop, and it didn't get any better because the person that's working on it is trying to blame everybody else for their own mistake. He taught us how to think, and think right. Make it a great day today. I'm in your corner. I'm your coach. I will be your bestest cheerleader you have ever had in your life, no matter how old you are, how young you are, what your marital status is, period. I will be your bestest cheerleader. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Apply, rinse, repeat. Make it a great day. We've made it to the hump day, the middle of the week. And remember, everything we talk about lives at our website. It's the biggest drawer in our toolbox. Read the descriptions for all our videos, for all our podcasts. Share us with your family. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment. Do all those little things to help our channel and our platforms grow so that we can help more and more people just like you and me. Just live a little better life each and every day. Thank you to Crystal Ridge Dream Center. They're out there making it happener, serving men, women, children, meals, love, and hope. They'll be there today doing the same, what they do every day. Apply, rinse, and repeat, and do the same things for all age groups, changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. The kids are coming in today, I believe, for some programs. All the programs that are available there for seniors, adults, young adults, widows, orphans, single moms. There's programs specifically designed for single moms there. So tap in to everything that Crystal Ridge Dream Center has for you. If you want to search your heart and see how you can get involved, either by being a one-time giver or a regular giver, or even donating your time and becoming a volunteer. But let's support them because they're doing what we can't. So let's help them to do what they're doing and what they're good at. They're a nonprofit, faith-based organization, gets no outside funding from anywhere, and has to come from their hard work, hitting the pavement, meeting business owners, and getting out there and letting the world know who they are, where they are, and what they do. And we're very, very blessed to be able to bring them on as our fundraising organization for 2026, and we'll be out there letting people know where they are and what they do. If you're looking for an automobile, there's only one place that I would go to do that, and that's City Auto Sales and Leasing. They're the GTA's, Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store, and they are really good at it. Earl and Louise Grant have lots of resources to find that specific vehicle you're looking for. If they don't have it in inventory, let them do the walking for you. They supply low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. They sell no junk whatsoever. In-house leasing and financing available, but I will tell you this. Earl and Louise Grant will be just like your second family. They won't let you go out that door being car broke. I'll tell you right now, Louise will say, have a seat. Can I get you something to drink? We need to chat. They don't want to see anyone going out the door where they know you're getting in way over your head. Yes, you can make the payments barely, but if something should happen, it's going to put you and your family, your household in a very, very tight situation. That's what you have available to you at City Auto Sales and Leasing. And if anyone in your circle of friends, maybe yourself, struggling with an addiction, there's help for you. Check out Total Freedom Addiction Campuses for Canadians and U.S. residents. That's where you need to get to. That's where a new life waits for you. Make it a super day. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another Motormouth Morning Drive at 8 a.m. Watch out for the other guy. Happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness always. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.